Welcome to Kev's Travel Stories. Each week I'll be bringing you a story from the weird and wonderful world of travel, a world that can change the way you see life and love and even the way we find meaning. Places that are iconic and sometimes surprising and even terrifying. So sit back and enjoy while we go on a magical mystery tour together. Welcome to this special episode 6 of On the Road with Kev. Yes, we're touring around Asia and I'm taking you by the hand and sharing the experiences of being away. One thing you may have noticed in one of the earlier episodes is I had a little bit of difficulty settling into this whole new routine. I think it's to do with jet lag. I think it's to do with you're away after having been entrenched with the family for a fantastic Christmas as it was, and then suddenly you're catapulted out into a completely different environment. It's almost like being on a different planet. That had challenges initially. I sort of stayed with the process and really started to drill down into the experiences of being away. And then I was having a taxi drive just the other morning and I was looking out at the window. It was early. Bangkok was sort of quiet. It was the Chinese New Year. There weren't many cars around, which is very rare for Bangkok, which is a polluted and noisy, mad city. And suddenly I had this epiphany, that wonderful word that James Joyce used, when suddenly the veil is pulled aside and you can actually see a new development in your existence, this extraordinary existence, which doesn't last for very long, but we can certainly make it more interesting by doing things such as travel. And this is exactly what happened to me, dear listener, my dear listeners who I really love sharing my experiences with. What happened was I suddenly felt a lightness in the brain. It was almost like a tickle inside my head. It was almost like something was trying to get out and jump forth. It was a very pleasant experience. It was a sort of transcendent experiences where you sort of leave the normality and you're catapulted into a different way of experiencing things. And I suddenly knew that I was changing the way my brain was operating, because as I looked out of the window, the completely different aspect to Europe and Dublin where I live, totally different culture, totally different views, totally different people. And I understood, because I've been doing a bit of work on myself and what's called neuroplasticity, how extraordinary this was happening. This was a very beneficial thing. And I've been looking at the research in travel, because I'm obviously a professional traveler and a travel writer and podcaster, and I really want to share the beauty of travel with all of you, my dear listeners. So I wanted to share what actually happens when you go away. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time. It can be a city break. You're obviously going to get different stimuli when you go further afield into different continents. What the research shows, that travel actually significantly enhances brain neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity is what happens when the brain adapts and learns. So, for example, when you have one of my grandkids, Kuba or Maya, their brain is able, right up to the age of 12, to absorb a new language, to build all these new connections, and to talk the language without an accent. Once puberty happens, things change, as we all know. But that's basically what neuroplasticity is. It's the ability to change, to bring in new experiences and new skills. They're learning the piano now. And that, again, is going to build all of these new circuits. In adults, it changes from puberty, and up to the age of 25, then you get something that is sort of embedded. You're supposed to be ready to adapt to life then. And the only thing that will make a difference to your neuroplasticity in one fell swoop is a traumatic event, the sudden death of someone who's close, or an accident that happens to yourself, or bankruptcy, or divorce, or someone betrays you in some way or another. These negative experiences can alter the structure of your brain like that. But the good news is, as you get older, by doing certain experiences, you can keep the brain healthy. You can increase this neuroplasticity. You can build new circuits. You can actually put off the advent of dementia and possibly even Alzheimer's by travel. Now, let me go a little bit deeper into this. Because what's happening when you travel, you're exposing the brain to new, unfamiliar stimuli, like me in the taxi, driving along, seeing these strange roads and different people. You're forcing the brain to adapt and create new neural connections. And this improves cognitive flexibility. It improves our problem solvings and even our creativity. So there's a lot going on here that's absolutely fantastic. If there was a drug to give you all of this, improving your cognitive flexibility, problem solving, and putting off dementia, you'd be taking it. But all you have to do is get on a plane or get in the car or get on a train or a bus. So essentially, when you travel, you rewire the brain through exposure to these different cultures, just as I was experiencing in the taxi, languages, the environment. You're essentially stepping outside the comfort zone, my comfort zone. This stimulates the brain to learn, and it grows in new ways. So what are some of the key points that travel in particular does to help neuroplasticity? If you want to help your neuroplasticity overall, aerobic activity is probably the key way, combined with diet. But if you want to do some very particular work, travel gives you absolutely wonderful things that aids the development and the nurturing of your neuroplasticity, which is how you understand and are in the flow of life. So one of the first things, of course, is the novel experiences. When I'm traveling, I'm in a new place, Bangkok, new encounters, new sights, sounds, smells, as all these podcasts have been showing you, and my Instagram feed is full of interesting stuff. And thank you for so much response from around the world to the Instagram feed, and what I'm eating and the strange things I'm eating and the weird places I'm going and the wonderful temples. And all this new information is feeding and leading to the formation of new neural pathways. Just imagine that. Another thing that comes with travel is the challenges and the adaptation. So I'm navigating unfamiliar situations, like trying to communicate in a different language, trying to tell the taxi driver not to go to the wrong hotel. That's a challenge, believe me. I just had a big row with one taxi driver, but again, I kept cool, and you can actually see how it's pushing the brain. It's pushing me to adapt and overcome challenges. And the research shows enhances my cognitive ability and flexibility. And not only that, some of the research I read shows that you get a dopamine release. It's actually the excitement, the anticipation of travel. This can give you this dopamine rush. This is a neurotransmitter associated with reward and pleasure. And this actually promotes the brain activity and engagement with the new set of circumstances when you arrive somewhere. And you can tell if you're welcoming this challenge of a new place, then that's helping. If you're stressed out and you're complaining about the newness of it, you're not. So it's really important to actually embrace. There's something called memory consolidation, and it shows that creating these vivid memories from the travel experiences that I'm having in this extraordinary city of Bangkok, and the environments of Bangkok, and the canals and the different temples and complexes and the ancient holy sites. This strengthens my neural connections in the brain, and it improves my memory recall. And when you're in your 70s, this is really useful. But you don't have to be 70 to get the benefits. Any age is really, really important. And then, of course, there's the whole reduction in stress. You see, taking a break from routine and immersing myself in new experiences does alleviate my stress. And this helps and improves cognitive function, the way my brain develops and deals with stuff. What are the examples particularly apt for travel and neuroplasticity? Well, it's the new language and learning a new language. Even trying to communicate a few words means that my brain is trying to process new sounds and grammar. It's enhancing my language acquisition abilities. I am trying some new words. It's slow, but it's all helping. Of course, I'm exploring new environments. I'm navigating a different city. There's unique layout and roads and landmarks, and this improves my spatial awareness. Of course, one of the biggies is I'm trying new food. Our experience of unfamiliar flavors and cuisines can apparently, according to all the research I've read, stimulate the senses and broaden my perception of taste. And certainly I've noticed that absolutely. At first dish I took, pad thai, it was a bit too spicy, and I had something yesterday and I actually embraced the fact that there was a lot of chili. My taste buds are adapting to it. And of course, I'm engaging in a lot of local cultural activities, local traditions, from the art. When we went on that cruise with Diamond and we did art while we were having our dinner, we drew, which was amazing. I'm looking at the customs and the way that the Buddhists think of how to interpret life. That's really changing my outlook. See the excitement I got in that taxi. It's true. I'm becoming a better, different, bigger person. And I just wanted to share that with you. We can all, whatever our age, whatever our situation in life, if we can get a city break, it doesn't have to be a kick-ass, all bells and whistles tour to the Antipodeans or the Latin America or Asia or China. It can be hopping across on a Ryanair flight to a new European destination and immersing yourself in the culture. And that will help you adapt and rewire your brain. And pushing yourself to go and explore these unfamiliar environments, the languages and the people. This is the potent stimulus for neuroplasticity. So please, dear listener, go and book a break and embrace the difference. And not only that, but in a world where we see barriers going up, where we see a call to them and us and keep them out, and let's just glory in our own race, creed, sexuality, or whatever. What a gift it is to travel, because you come to somewhere like Thailand and you see a different approach to death. You see a different approach to sexuality. They have a real sense of how to treat the old. There's a difference in ageism, there's a difference in, obviously, the language, the culture, and the food, but there's something about the respect of meeting people that have a different take on life. And that's the true gift. So travel, not only will it help you put off the inevitable decline, cognitive decline, but it will make you see the world in a more generous way, and it will make your heart burst open. And that's what I experienced in that taxi. And I just wanted to bring you along on that taxi ride and share the love. Till the next time, signing off, Kev.